I want to do a quick video to talk about this amazing bundle that Grizaye has sent me. Now, I'm not a real big fan of charcoals or pastels or any of the mediums that leave the powdery residue. But when I got these, I got excited because, or for a couple reasons. Number one, this is a brand new product to them, and I could feel their excitement and how proud of these they are. This is the 12 count, but from what I understand, next year they should be releasing another 12 sets, if I'm correct, and this is going to bring them up to 24 as far as their charcoals go, and I know that's got to be exciting for them. The other reason I got kind of happy about this is it gives me a chance to jump into something that I'm not as comfortable with, such as a charcoal. But this right here, water soluble, that alone was enough to get me excited about it. I haven't played with the watercolors in a while, but I remember when it comes to watercolor pencils, absolutely love them. So this whole package made me really happy, and again, excited to try something new. What also came in it, speaking of water soluble, is this nice set of brushes. Now, this is nothing that's new to me. I have a ton of these types of brushes, but as far as they go, this is really nice. It has their logo on the side. As simple as it is, I like the orange tips. The idea, if you don't know or if you've never used one, you fill the back end up, the barrel, with water, and this lets you distribute it as you use the brush, as opposed to dipping it into some water. Plus, it makes cleanup of the bristles a lot easier. So this is 6 brushes that have the 6 different tips for different uses. So again, super nice. Also in the pack came these little blender stubs along with a sander. Again, this is something that I'm very familiar with, and I absolutely love these, and a sharpener. As far as these go, if you've never messed with them, it's all it is. It's a blender. It's compressed paper, so you could sharpen it by using this or a knife or whatever. This is something I wanted to try out as well, so I ended up using one of these. The reason this is in here is my powder blue is possibly the shortest Grizaye pencil I have. I just use it a lot. So they were kind enough to send me another one of these as well. Let's talk about these papers. You talk about elegant. This packaging is just next level. I love the way it looks. I'm a sucker for packaging, and this nails it. This right here is glassine paper, and this is all it is. It's a sheet of paper that you use to protect your hand from the surface you're using, especially when it comes to charcoal pencils. It will leave that residue, and when by natural habit for me to wipe, it'll sometimes smear that across your paper. So this protects that from happening. Then you have these two right here. Again, beautiful, beautiful packages. Your charcoal paper white, and then your ultra black. I haven't messed with this. This will be something I look forward to using, but let me talk about this. I pulled one of these sheets out and I stuck it in my printer because I knew that would be a question, is does it print well? And when I first pulled it out, I didn't think it would, because it's such a high quality. It's thick and durable. It reminds me, it's thicker than a color pencil page, and yet it's around the same quality of either like a cardstock or even watercolor paper. So I printed on one of these just to see if it would, and it worked out perfect. Again, 8.5 by 11, so there was no need to cut the paper down. Big, big, big plus. So I wanted to play around with these. I was going to use these charcoals because there's just 12 of them. I was going to use them in moderation, but use them mixing them with their beautiful set of 72, the Grizaye set of color pencils. So that's what I did. I ended up designing a page, printing it out, and then used these in combination with the color pencils. The very first thing I did is I laid down the gray. I played around with it. I tested it on a scrap sheet of paper to see exactly how it would work. So the charcoal doesn't go on top of the color pencil as well as the color pencil goes on top of the charcoal. So I did a light coating of the charcoal gray over her face, and ended up, they went really well together. And then when I used the little blender stub, it made the whole thing so soft. And once it did that, I was able to go back over it again with the Grizaye color pencils to really pop out some of the highlights. So At that point, I realized these two were going to go really well together. When I first started this, I honestly wasn't sure what my color scheme was going to be. But once I did that gray, I knew I wanted to go ahead and pop in some really bright, deep, rich blues. So I used a pretty strong base blue, a true blue, and then I just accented it with a very, very deep, dark blue. As far as the blenders go, I think in this whole piece I used a total of 3. I think it was the Carandash, the Grizaye, and the Color blenders, just because all 3 have a different effect. And I've learned to love all 3 of them. The center of the flowers gave me another chance, again, to combine the charcoal with the color pencil, where it allowed me to put a deep, almost a brownish yellow mixed into a bright yellow and a darker, like an orange. And when those 3 got mixed together, it really gave a 3-dimensional look to the center of the flower, which I found myself enjoying. The ear, I started off doing those with color pencil, but then when I tested on another sheet of paper, realized that the red charcoal, when you blend it out, it turns into a really, really soft peach color, and I thought that would be perfect for the ear. So I used it really dark up top and then just pushed it down to where I wanted it to fade out. And then the same thing with her dress. I was able to just use the yellow or the brown charcoal and then push it into the areas where I wanted it to become almost a soft off-white eggshell color. Whenever I'm working on these frames, I'll usually have three colors: a very dark, a base, and then an extreme highlight. So anytime I'm starting my frame, it'll be in this case, a deep, rich, like an indigo or a midnight blue, something almost black. And then I'll push that into the violet, the main color of the frame, a violet color. And then when I go to hit my highlights, I'll grab an extreme light, in this case, almost a hot pink. And I do that just to break it up. And then once you start blending it, you'll notice, especially if you put in if I'll run that hot pink into the color, you don't see it as much, but when that blender hits it, it just brightens up the entire colored area. When I was working on the background, I started it off, I knew that there was blue at the bottom of the image and there was pink at the top. So for the background, I wanted the top to have blue and the bottom to have a pink and peach color. But I wanted to play with the charcoal pencils again. So I ended up doing around the entire top edge, I used the charcoal blue. And when it went down, it was like a slate blue, which I really liked. And then I went over that with a color pencil blue. And those two worked together so well, it again popped out that frame more than I was expecting it to, which I really liked the look of it. And one thing I found that I will continue to use, I ended up enjoying it so much, was the charcoal browns. Using it in such a way where I was trying to give a parchment paper look or an aged page look. All I did is I went from the yellow to the brown and charcoal, and then I got the blender. And those two went together so well that I could tell the moment I started doing it, the soft effect that it gave it. These two will probably be my most used colors in this charcoal set. And you could see how well how well the blender worked on that charcoal between the color pencil and that charcoal gray. It gave it such a nice, soft look to her fur that I found myself wanting to almost overuse it. I was really wanting to use the watercolor aspect of these charcoal pencils, and the purple just seemed like the perfect color to do it with because it was so vibrant when the water hit it. And again, testing it first, I saw how it would it didn't really avoid the wax when it was in its wet form as much as the pencil did, the charcoal pencil did. It went right on top of it, and I used it really light, like real sparingly. So I did a touch of the watercolor, then I would kind of wipe my brush out, and then I would drag that watercolor out. So it gave it a really, really soft gradient, which again, I just love the look of.
Sugar Sorito.